Hello, now then, J-Tull.com becomes another in the rolling series of Jethro Tull albums to get the big box slash book set treatment. Originally released back in 1999, this big box book set edition of J-Tull.com is subtitled Another Cast of the Net. It includes 4 discs. We've got the original album, a 2026 remix, a disc of bonus stuff, which is previously unreleased studio tracks, and 3 live cuts from Tull's 2000 tour. And there's a Blu-ray, which has various other formats on it, such as Dolby Atmos and 5.1 surround sound, all encased in the familiar hardback book format. The book itself isn't as chunky as many of the previous sets, there's not as many pages in it, but it's still an interesting read. We've got lyrics, photographs, all sorts of breakdown notes explaining each song and so on. And of course, that gloss art paper is high quality as always. As for the album itself, yeah, well, not exactly a Tull classic, is it? I'd say this makes another cast of the net as one for Tull completists and collectors of the box sets, and I include myself in that category. Musically, jtull.com doesn't have much to recommend it to newbies. By that I mean newbies to Jethro Tull. The album always seems to me it's tired. It's a band light years away from the classic period and very much on the decline. In fact, bar the subsequent Christmas album, which wasn't entirely original material, jtull.com would be the final Tull album of new material until the Zealot Gene in 2022, after Ian Anderson reignited the band in some form. Jtull.com to me is pedestrian and perfunctory. It's a group of musicians phoning it in, going through the motions. There's just no spark here. There's no energy at all. Martin Barr's guitar does spike things up here and there, but when you've got a world-class guitarist like Martin in your band, surely you make the most of them, as you have done in the past, rather than keep them practically hidden in the mix and just not as effective as he should be. Spiral is quite a nice opener, which does sound like Jethro Tull. AWOL and Hunt by Numbers also, and to some extent the closer of A Gift of Roses, that's nice and melodic and catchy. But the rest of it, not so much at all. Very little to recommend it, in my opinion. One-paced, disjointed, doesn't flow well together. And what were they thinking with Hot Mango Flush? I mean, what is all that about? Well, you've got to hear it to believe it, and once you've heard it, you won't forget it, but not for the right reason. But as I mentioned earlier, you'll be buying this if you're an old Tull fan to keep the collection up to date. That's me, but not if you're curious about Jethro Tull. If you are, and you want to get into these box sets or the band in general, I would say go for the Bursting Out box set or Broadsword and the Beast box set. But there we are. If you do want this, of course, you'll be buying it, or you might already have. There's a link to it on Amazon in the description below, as always. And unusually, I think the first time for these box sets, there's a vinyl version as well. I don't know, I can't remember if they've done a vinyl version before, but I don't think jtull.com, when it was originally issued, was in vinyl format, but I'm open to correction there. Rumour has it that the next in this series is going to be Crest of the Knave, which we'll get sometime next year. And that is something to look forward to, because that album's tremendous, isn't it? So we'll leave it there today. Not one to recommend unless you are a collector of Jethro Tull box sets, but there we are. Do me a little favour before you go, if you wouldn't mind, and that is please subscribe to the channel. That'd be a big help and appreciated. And until next time, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.